about when stuff don't happen?
Good morning, everybody. God bless you. Pastor Will here. We're getting ready to get this thing going. We want you all to come on in. We are in our inaugural Iron Sharpening Table Talk series, using social media to expand the kingdom. We got a lot of great stuff we're going to be sharing today that I know is going to bless a lot of people. So here's what I need you all to do. Go ahead and hit those shares, hit those likes, invite some folks on. We are going to ask you all to help us get the word out. We are on Facebook. We are on YouTube. I need everybody right now to hit the shares, hit the likes, as we are looking to have a great discussion today. And I am thrilled about it. I'm looking behind me. Oh, because I see what's going on. There's something behind me. So we're going to move that in just a minute. But welcome to Iron Sharpening Table Talk with Pastor Will hosting. And I got some great folks on with me. Let's see who all we got here. Algernon, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, Pastor. How are you?
All is well. All is well. We have Elder E.J. Johnson. How are you doing, sir?
I'm good, sir. Hope all is well with you.
Awesome. And to those that don't know, I have my brother, Elder William Nichols Jr. How you doing?
I am also well, thank you.
Very good. I'm great, man. I'm great. We got one other presenter. He is traveling. He said he's going to try to hop on as soon as this plane lands, and that is DeAndre Bennett. But we have some great things that we want to share with you all today. So y'all do me a favor, hit those shares, hit those likes, let people know that we're live, we're on. We got some great information we're going to share. This information is going to live in social media, which is what we're talking about today. So I am going to get started here in just a minute, but let me go ahead and have our presenters introduce themselves, tell us a little bit about themselves. My brother is on, and he's going to be presenting, and I'm going to explain to you his role here. But Elder, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do for a living, whatever else bio-wise you want to share with us?
Well, actually, I live in the Richmond, Virginia area, and I am the general manager for Crossroads Ford, Prince George, and I'm also the general manager for Crossroads Chrysler, Jeep Dodge, and Ram. I've been a general manager for the Crossroads organization since 2006, and I've been the manager of the Ford store since that point. I took over the Chrysler dealership in 2018, and I've been the general manager of both facilities since that time. Primarily, I am the face of the dealership, and I actually handle and control a lot of the aspects of what we do as far as marketing, how we market our dealership, and just trying to help and continue to grow. Obviously been a part of ministry my entire life. Used to work with my brother directly before we moved to Virginia, and we continue to work behind the scenes with him.
Awesome. Well, thank you for sharing that. Algernon, tell us a little bit about yourself. I know you work in the ministry. Tell us a little bit about that. You also have a private business. Tell us a little bit about that and about yourself.
Yes, you have to excuse me. I'm feeling a little double take here. I'm seeing two Will Nichols on the screen. That's new. Yes, as Pastor said, I've been working in the ministry here for quite some time. I do often work dual roles. Pastor often says, I don't know everything, but I know a little bit of everything. So I work primarily graphic design here at the church, and I also work in the video department here. I do have my own private business in which I do photography and graphic design. My efforts is to build branding for individual businesses and to increase the branding and ministry here at Victorious Praise.
Okay, well, very good. Thank you, darling. And our youth pastor, Elder Everett Johnson Jr. Why don't you introduce yourself, sir?
Hey, you all. I am EJ, as people will call me, Elder EJ. My job is actually I'm a behavior specialist in the charter school system, and I'm an athletic director. Here at the church, as Pastor just said, I am the youth pastor, and recently I have this new role, director of eChurch, which is basically all our members online dealing with Facebook, Instagram, all that different kind of stuff, trying to keep them involved. So that's kind of what I will be dealing with today on the e-church side, kind of one of my different hats, but that's me.
Awesome. Well, thank you, sir. And to everyone, we appreciate you all for jumping in, hopping on, and we're trying it in the morning. I know Saturday ain't a great time. People are still asleep and all of that, but I wanted to get it in, and then people would have the rest of their day. And so that's the reason why we're doing it at 10 o'clock in the morning. I probably should have did it at 12, but we decided to do it at 10, and we'll get the word out to those that don't make it at 10 o'clock. But as you all are coming in, holler at us, say something to us, send us some comments. We're going to have a lot of great information. I know that a lot of our district pastors are going to be on, and we want you to comment as you're coming in. We're on Facebook or YouTube, and we're going to have a great discussion this morning. All right, so as we presented this, we're calling this, let me make sure I can bring this up, Iron Sharpening Table Talk Series. And the idea is for us to have discussions and various talks that will be a blessing to ministries and churches, that will be a blessing to business owners, that will be a blessing all across the community. This is not just about Victoria Sprays or Greater Triangle District, but this is about the body of Christ, the kingdom of heaven. This is about all of us collaborating, coming together, sharing with each other, learning from each other. And so we're going to take some time this morning to do that. So that's what the goal here is. And that's the premise. I wanted to share a couple of things to get us started. Let me make sure I can get this running properly. And we're going to see if I can do this. I'm doing this technology. Normally, Algernon is driving this, but however, she's not today because she's out front. Normally, she's behind the scenes. So now I got her in front of the camera, and we kind of doing the driving a little bit differently. Just real quick before we get started with our presenters, the Iron Sharpening Table Talk series, and I'm trying to get used to this here. There's a couple of passages I want to share with you. Matthew 28:18 says, and Jesus came and spake unto them, saying, all power is given unto me in heaven and in earth. Go ye therefore and teach all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost, teaching them to observe all things whatsoever I've commanded you, and lo, I'm with you always. It is a command. It is the Great Commission for us to take the message. The message, most of you all know the message is Romans 10:9, that if thou shalt confess with thy mouth the Lord Jesus and believe in the heart that God is raised from it, thou shalt be saved. However, EJ, I was thinking about this the other day, and I'm going to ask you and you to jump in and answer this. If a tree falls in the forest and nobody is there to hear it, did it make a noise? What's the answer? You still work with kids. You in school. That's a philosophical question for kids. If a tree falls in the forest and nobody is there to hear it, did it make a noise?
It definitely made a noise. Yes, sir.
Well, what is noise? Noise is defined by something we hear. But if nobody's there to hear it, you give me your take, Junior. Oh, by the way, before I called him Junior. So Algernon said she was having a double take because she saw two wheels. So I'm the original wheel because I'm the oldest. And I think I'm the first wheel because neither one of us was called Will when we was growing up. I was called Wilbur. He was called Junior. I went off to college and I didn't think Wilbur was a good name. So I changed my name to Will in college. I don't know when he changed his name, but why don't you give me that story, Junior? Because I know I'm the oldest, and I came up with it first.
Well, you're definitely the oldest, but you weren't the first one to be called Will. No, I realized that real quickly when I was in elementary, because when everybody saw my name was William, they never called me William. They called me Bill.
Okay.
And I never liked being identified as Bill, so I always told them that's not my name. My name is Will. So was in elementary.
You was in elementary. I did it in college.
Yes,
you
sir.
did it in elementary.
And if you really want to know the semantics of it, I have more letters in my name than yours. So there's the win.
There you go. I only use one L, and y'all hear me say that every morning. I say Pastor Will with one L. There's only one me, and I'm the original. All right, Junior Will with two L's. If the tree falls in the forest. And those that are streaming, I want to hear from you all. Tell me, what's y'all thought on this? Those that are streaming, if a tree falls in the forest and no one is there to hear it, did it make a noise? What's your thought?
So therein is that's the problem, because philosophically, noise is defined by perception. So somebody has to hear it in order for there to be a noise. So philosophically, no, you don't. There's no noise because there was no one there to hear it.
All right. Anybody else? What else y'all got out there? Algernon, what's your thoughts on it, darling? Nobody's there. The tree fell, but nobody heard it. Did it make a noise?
I agree. No sound by definition. If no one's there to hear it, it makes no sound.
So you know why I asked that question? Let me tell you why I asked that question. Because if we doing all this good preaching, y'all ain't listening to me. And nobody hears it, but the same old folk that come to church who already heard it, are we really making any noise? If Jesus said, go and tell people, but we don't go, we just tell it to the people who already heard it, but we get up every Sunday and preach, are we making any noise? Are we making any noise? So that's what I want to really dig into today. Jesus said, whosoever shall call upon the name of the Lord shall be saved. How then shall they call upon him and who they have not believed? And how shall they believe on him and who they have not heard? Nobody's making any noise, y'all. The trees are falling at church on Sunday. But nobody is making any noise. And how shall they hear without a preacher? And how shall they preach except they be sent? As it is written, how beautiful are the feet of them that preach the gospel. So what I was just looking at that, and I was thinking here, let me see if I can get this going here. People got to hear the message. We got to sell the message. We've got to preach the message, and we've got to take the message. So that is so vitally important, which is kind of these 4 points here that I really want to deal with. We're going to dip in and out on different topics today, and hopefully you all will be blessed by it. But let me. So what I want to do here is go to, Algernon is going to give us a talk on some of the technical stuff and some of the tools. And if DeAndre is able to get on, I'm not for sure if he is. He was going to deal with some specific tools, and maybe Algernon can share a little bit of that. We can go back and forth with that. The EJ is going to show how we've implemented it by talking about our e-church, and that's going to be a great discussion. And then finally, we are going to have not finally, actually, I introduced him in reverse order, but actually, we're going to hear from this first presenter first. Who's my brother, Elder William Nichols. He's going to be working with us with our district of pastors. So those of you, as you're coming in, holler at us, say something to us. As we're going through the presentations, we want you all to post questions in the comment section. And it may be for one of our presenters. It may be for the whole panel. We've got a few other folks that may be able to answer some of your questions. So as we are going through this, feel free to use the comments to post questions, ask questions as we get through this. So Elder Nichols, you introduce yourself. You're over 2 dealerships, and I know even before you became a general manager, you were one of the top salesmen in your corporation, Crossroads. And you had some strategies behind that. And of course, you've been helping me in ministry at various times on, and I saw the correlation, selling cars, selling Jesus. So I wanted you to kind of break that down and explain why that is so important and how it's helped you in your career and your ministry and how we correlate what the world does. The Bible says that the children of the dark are more wise than the children of the light. And so share a little bit with us. So I'm going to kind of turn it over to you and let you kind of go here.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Basically, the one thing that I wanted to kind of bring to the table today was just really the idea of basic success in marketing, or at least pushing an idea or a thought. Habakkuk 2:2 probably brings it to light best. The King James Version says to basically write the vision on tablets, make it plain so that he that runneth may read it. I think that the contemporary version even says it a little bit better because it says make it so clean or so precise that it can be read quickly. To me, that's really one of the essence of successful pushing anything. I would kind of present it to you like this. My brother kind of used the passage. It says that the children of this world are much wiser than the children of the light. And it kind of deals with the idea that we sometimes take things and we hang them with a negative tag because we don't think that they belong in ministry. We think that ministry should be generic and that it just should grow on its own, that there's really nothing that we need to do other than to stand up and preach and to cry the word. But unfortunately, there is more to it than that, especially when we consider what's really needed in this world and what's necessary. Habakkuk actually makes that statement. And if you kind of look at it, it really deals with something that is basics of marketing. It is having an understanding of what people are motivated by, what gets people to move or what gets them to react. If you could, Wilbur, can you just show that video for me real quickly?
All right.
Come see me and don't worry about what you can't do. Just tell me what you can do and we'll start this new year off right. So come on by and don't worry about what you can't do. Just tell me what you can do. So come see me and don't worry about what you can't do. Just tell me what you can do and we'll start this new year off right. So come see me and don't worry about what you can't do. Just tell me what you can do. So don't worry about what you can't do. Just tell me what you can do and I'll take it from there. And as always, don't worry about what you can't do. Just tell me what you can do. So come on by and don't tell me what you can't do. Just tell me what you can do and let me work for you.
That concept, guys, is one that we started years ago. And every single commercial, I advertise for the dealership here. I'm the face of the dealership here. Every single commercial that I do ends that exact way. I put a little twist on the front, a little twist in the back, but the body of it always says, don't tell me what you can't do. Tell me what you can do. That's a concept. And no matter where I go, if people see me and they recognize me, guess what they say to me? Hey, you that guy. Don't tell me what you can't do. Tell me what you can do, right? The reality of that statement is that there's more to it than just the simplicity of it, because it's different people are going to take different things from it. I have a book on my desk that I keep all the time. It's this book right here. I don't know if you guys can see that, but this guy was involved with a life or death accident where he nearly died. And he told me that one of the motivating factors behind his recovery was my commercials. That he had gotten so depressed because he had gotten damaged so badly in this accident that he didn't feel like he could make it. And he said to me that he saw my commercial on television, and he said he just adopted that philosophy that every day he didn't focus on what he couldn't do, he focused on what he could do. And he utilized that to motivate himself every day to try to do something different, to try to make that leg move that wouldn't move. Now, that idea, guys, is really about how people feel when it comes to buying something. Most times people feel like they're not going to be treated fairly, or that people won't take them seriously, or that what's important to them is not important to the dealership. For me, understanding that, all I did was focus on that aspect of it and continue to push it. Now, here's the reality that I would present to anybody that's a minister or it's a business owner, and that is that anybody that has a business, you more than likely have a mission statement. But I would challenge you to go to your people and ask them, what is your mission statement? Could they recite it to you? And the chances are they probably can't. That's because Habakkuk tells us we've got to make the vision simple, make it plain so that he that runneth may read it. It says simply, you have to define your ministry by something other than what other people are defining it by. For instance, if I say, what's your church about? You're going to tell me it's about saving souls, getting people to Christ, winning people to Jesus. And I'm going to say, every church has got that same mission. What makes your church unique? What's special about you? And that's where the defining point for you as a minister or a leader comes in. You got to figure out what it is that God makes you do, or that you do that's special to you, and then define that. That, to me, guys, is realistically the basis of something that I call sound bites. Finding out that point about you that you can push, whether it be on standard media, television or radio, social media, or digital marketing, any of those platforms where you can say something that is simple enough that people can get it, they can understand it, and they can run with it. That, to me, is the true essence of marketing. And if you really want to know who was a perfectionist at this thought, who actually perfected it and showed us how well it works, it's Donald Trump. You don't have to like him, and you don't have to appreciate him, and I am definitely not a supporter, but he utilized this to become the president of the United States of America. He used sound bites. He used bits and pieces of information. Now, most of the politicians that we become familiar with, they were utilizing policies and what they were going to do and how they were going to fix it and how they were going to change that. And the only problem with that is that a large portion of their audience wasn't following them. They couldn't catch them. Donald Trump came to the table and utilized something that most politicians had never seen done before, and most salespeople have. And that is something that's called sound bites. He uses bits and pieces of information. He would come to the table and he would say, words, 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 drain the swamp. Words, 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 drain the swamp. Words, 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 drain the swamp. And eventually, what did he have people saying? Drain the swamp, drain the swamp, drain the swamp. Or he would go down to the south and he would say, we're going to build the wall. Words, 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 build the wall. Words, 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 build the wall. What would have happen? People will start saying, build the wall, build the wall, build the wall. He was literally using a concept, guys, that is something that is called, simply put, repetition. Utilizing something that people can become emotionally attached to, that you can repeat over and over and over again until people become convinced that this is the direction that they should move into. Now, there was a problem with this, and I call it the rub. The rub is that he presented something, but he had nothing to back it up. He didn't have any substance to go along with what he was presenting. And that, to me, is the challenge that every ministry and every leadership has got to have, is that once you are able to identify your ministry or your business, you have got to have something to back it up. You've got to have some foundation that you can present to people that says, not only am I saying this, I actually have something to go with this. And that was, for me, the work that I put in as a general manager in my dealerships, because I train my salespeople every day. I work with them every day so that the concept that we're presenting is fulfilled when people come to our dealership. It is the same thing that I would look at and I would say to my brother, who we talked about this some time ago, and he immediately started utilizing it. I would take this way. And if I were Pastor Will Nichols, this is what I would do. He has a slogan now that he uses. Don't just live life victoriously, right? Now, if I were pushing that, it would be, are you having problems in your home? Don't just live life victoriously. Are you struggling with your finances? Don't just live life victoriously. Are you stuck not knowing where to go in your life? Don't just live life victoriously. That concept, to me, would be a catalyst for everything that an individual might be facing, that I can simply present for the next 10, 15, 20 years over and over again until it eventually gets into the spirit of people that if somebody walked up to a stranger and said, man, I just don't know what to do. Well, buddy, don't just live life victoriously. That individual is going to be connected to a ministry now that actually has a purpose and that is defined by something that is simple, easy to understand, and gives clear direction. I'll say that again, something that is simple, easy to understand, and gives clear direction. Simple, easy to understand, gives clear direction. Simple, easy to understand, gives clear direction. Now, for all you preachers out there, y'all know what I just did. I drilled in a statement into the spirit of the people, or you in this case, that you'll understand how important it is that if you're going to do any type of marketing, you've got to make your message simple, easy to understand, and gives clear direction. And something that you can do over and over and over and over again without any fail, because you know that no matter what you're presenting, you've got the substance to actually back it up. Clearly put, successful marketing is always going to have something that, again, I call a soundbite. Rap songs call it a hook. You got that? Guess what you're probably going to have? A winning song or a winning single or something along those lines, because you got a strong hook. For churches to not think this way would realistically go back to that statement in Luke where the children of the world are much wiser than the children of the light. Because if we don't understand that these basic concepts are important for us, especially in this day and age, because in today's society, what you guys will see no matter where you go are these things and people's faces buried in them. They're going to spend more time looking at this than they're going to spend looking at you. And if that's the case, guess what Will Nichols is going to do? I'm going to make sure that my ads pop up on YouTube. I'm going to make sure that my ads pop up on social media and Facebook. And you know what's really amazing to me is how many kids, 19 and 20-year-olds who don't watch TV, who tell me, I was playing a video game on my phone the other day and your commercial came up. All of that is ideally important to me because I know that this generation is not going to be motivated the same way as my generation was. So I have to find a new way of actually reaching them. Again, going back to Habakkuk 2:2. The responsibility becomes on me to make sure that I'm presenting a message that can be clearly read, understood, and gives clear direction to anybody who actually sees it. Thank you.
Awesome. Man, that was phenomenal. Thank you for that. And I'm going to start out asking you a few questions. And those of you that are streaming, if you have questions for Elder Nichols, go ahead. And I'm going to ask Algernon and EJ to jump in as well. Algernon, you're a business owner. EJ, you're a ministry leader with our youth. So we want to talk to Elder Nichols. So I love the idea of what you said. Well, don't just say the slogan, tie it to something. So, you know, what immediately started coming to my mind is my message that I preach on Sunday always has a point that I'm trying to get across. Somehow to tie that message to that point. You're having a bad marriage. Don't just live life. Live a victorious life. We got two things that we want you to accomplish. And by doing that, so, you know, I know you said something there, but based upon the little bit that you know about me and my ministry, you made one suggestion. Reiterate that and go a little bit deeper. Can you explain that, how we would take that message, don't just live life, live a victorious life, and begin to implement it? I thought about maybe implementing it with my sermons. Anything else that you would add to that, Elder?
Yeah, I would. If there wouldn't be anything that had my name on it that wouldn't have that slogan. I mean, it would be everywhere. It wouldn't be any place that I was that it wasn't there with me. It travels. So again, that to me would be just the essence of it. Again, it doesn't have to be any one thing, or it can be everything. And if you are a minister or a business and you're looking to try to start something or get something going, you know, for me, that basically would be is just to, first of all, search your heart and figure out what's important to you. And then that becomes your message. But for me, it's just literally everything that you touch, everything that you put your hand on, if I'm in the pulpit and I'm preaching, guess what? Yes, sir. My sermon is going to close that way. When I finish talking, that's what I'm going to be saying, because that's really what my ministry is really all about. So I'm going to make that the emphasis. That's going to be the catalyst of whatever I do. So no matter if I'm preaching out of Genesis, before I'm done, guess what I'm saying? Don't just live your life, folks. Live a victorious life. And I would tie it into absolutely everything that I'm doing. Because again, it's just a simple point of understanding that something that makes or connects people to you is something that will last, and especially if you got something to back it up. And again, like I said, I call Donald Trump a great salesperson, but in essence, he's really a great con artist. And the real difference between a salesperson and a con artist isn't what they do. The real difference between a salesperson and a great con artist is what you end up with.
Oh,
you're not going to end up with anything.
So somebody type that in there.
You're going to end up with a great product.
Somebody to hashtag that. Say that one more again.
Say the big difference between you and a con artist is what you're going to end up with. With a salesperson, you're going to end up with a product and something that you can be proud of. With a con artist, you're going to end up with nothing.
But they both are using the same techniques.
The same techniques, the exact same techniques. And the real reality of it is just understanding that when it comes to dealing with people, there are certain parts of what we do that's going to gather somebody's attention. We look at it from that standpoint, we work at it from that standpoint, and then we provide something. And that's the reason why, as a ministry, you can't just go out there and have a hook for your ministry and then don't have nothing to go with it. There's got to be some substance. There's got to be some preparation that is done. So if you're going to say, if you're struggling in your household and with marriages, don't just live life victoriously, but then when they come to your church, there's no counselors there, then guess what? There's no good in that. There's no value in what you're doing. There's got to be something, some substance there. It's not, I'm going to say you're struggling with your finances, live a victorious life. Don't just live a victorious life, but I come to your church and there's no financial counselors there. Guess what? No value. So all you're doing is you're just selling people a con. There's no real work or no real effort behind what you're actually presenting. So yeah, again, what I would be doing, I'd be putting it on everything, but more importantly, I'd be making sure that the groundwork has been done first, so that whatever I'm presenting, I actually have substance to actually go along with what I have. Those are, to me, the differences between, again, a con artist and a salesperson, because a con artist is going to get you once, but he'll never get you again. A salesperson can sell you again and again and again, because you know that you're going to actually have something when you finish.
All right. Well, very good. Those of you that are streaming, if you have any questions, please use our comments. Algernon, EJ, did you all have anything for Elder Nichols?
Not a question, but just to reiterate, repetition, I do believe that is key, and to having something to back up their repetition, I believe is key as well. Awesome. So I wholeheartedly believe that is that's a great word.
All right. Well, thank you very much. And one of the things that I want to do, and then thank you, Elder Nichols. If you have to hop off, I understand. I know you're in the middle. Yeah, I think you're at the dealership right now. Is that correct?
Absolutely.
All right. We're not going to be on very much longer, just in case other questions come in. If you could hang out with us, I would greatly appreciate it. So it looks like I think DeAndre is not going to be able to hop on. I think he's going to try to get something recorded and get it out to the participants later. But what I want to do is I want Algernon to present, to talk about some of the tools. One of the things Elder said was you got to be able to get things to people, but you got to have something in the of substance. So EJ is going to talk about the substance a little bit later on how we're trying to implement a lot of this stuff. But I want Algernon to talk about our tools. One of the said, write the vision, make it plain. You got to take it. You got to get it out there. Elder said something about his commercials pop up on social media when the kids are on the phones because they're not listening to the radio, not watching the television per se. And I said, wow, I used some traditional media this week to advertise this event, but how much more effective would it have been if it popped up on somebody while they was playing Warcraft or something? And it was funny, Elder, because me and my daughter was sitting here looking at the computer. We was trying to look at our speed test. And while I was doing my speed test to make sure that this event would work properly, a commercial popped up on something I had recently Googled. And I'm like, these folks are like all in my Kool-Aid. They in my, sometimes stuff be popping up and I was just thinking about it. I said, now y'all that good that y'all that y'all can know what I'm thinking about. But you are right, and that's where we've got to go with this whole social media. And I know that it's out there. You got companies that'll help you to get yourself in front of folks using this. I mean, we're going to talk about Facebook and YouTube and Instagram. Algernon, the tool that we're using right now is called StreamYard. It allows us to simulcast on Facebook and YouTube, and maybe Algernon will deal with that. But you got to have these tools, but you got to get that message. Again, listen to me. Just because you got a website don't mean nobody going to the website. Just because you got a Facebook page don't mean nobody watching you. So if the tree falls in the forest, does it make a noise if there's nobody there to hear it? So Algernon, I'm going to turn this over to you, darling. And if you want to reintroduce yourself and just kind of take us through what you're going to be talking about today.
Yes, sir. So my name is Algernon Conyers again. My company is Visionary Design, and my slogan is that I turn your vision into reality. So what I do is work with the church and with different clientele. So if you come to me and you give me your vision, it is my job to but to turn whatever your vision that you have and to implement that into a printed vision or to a video or photographic vision into a reality. So in this day and age, it's more important than ever that you, it's actually my desire and it's Pastor Will's desire to have the churches, I'm sorry. Oh, sorry. Our churches need to be successful right now. This day and age. It's more important than ever. We're dealing in the age of COVID right now. And for a long time, we weren't able to meet. And I was actually wanting to be the church, implement that. Since we weren't able to be in the church, then it was our duty to be the church, no matter where we were. So, but in doing that, we still needed to be visible. We still needed to be relative. So what we started to do here at the church was use a program called Wirecast. Initially is what we were using, Wirecast. And that program was pretty good. It was pretty good for our church, but we wanted to do something more. We wanted to be able to reach the masses, as you will. And as Elder Nichols mentioned to you earlier, it is important to be relevant. People using their computers, they're using their telephones now, and everything is coming across your phone so relevant, so accessible now that in the age of TikTok, an age of social media, if you're not using video streaming, if you're not using a certain type of social media for your churches, you're missing out. So we started using a program called Wirecast. Give me one moment. I will present a program for you. Okay. All right. The first program that we use to actually stream our services was Wirecast. Now, Wirecast is actually a streaming services that does a dual switcher control and does real time between multi-live video cameras while mixing the sources through media, QuickTime movies, and audio slides, and it creates professional broadcast production and live on-demand distribution of web services. So this means that we were able to filter out our Facebook and our YouTube streaming formats, but we weren't able to do as much interaction as we're doing right now for you guys. As you can see now, we're able to post comments, we're able to bring in real-time comments, we're able to communicate with everyone on real-time on a real-time platform. We weren't able to do this with this specific platform, but it still allowed us to do broadcasting. It allowed us to do certain lower thirds. It allowed us to bring in videos, and it allowed us to do layering and broadcast. This particular program that we're using now is called StreamYard. I don't know if any of you all are familiar with StreamYard, but it is a live streaming studio. It involves a browser setting. Unlike Wirecasting, you can actually download this from your web browser. There are certain web browsers that you actually cannot use at this point in time. So it is important that you have a Chrome browser, a Chrome browser, a Firefox, or Opera browser. It allows you to bring in Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, and also now believe that you can bring in Instagram. Once you get started, you bring in the browser through Chrome with your StreamYard, and it most works and happens through computers. You can use your computer, your laptop, and the great thing about it, you don't actually need to have a professional setup. Right now, our pastor is actually at home using the StreamYard. He's not in the church. He's not in front of the pulpit. We have Elder Nichols. He's at home in Virginia. We have Elder EJ. He's actually in the church with myself. He's in another office using StreamYard. So this makes it more accessible for you and your church if you don't have all the expensive equipment to just start branding your church from the ground up. You don't need the expensive equipment, but you can also incorporate that equipment if you need to. Okay, from there, I have a quick, should have created your account. Once you've created your account, you would have gone to StreamYard.com and created your account. Once you've created your account, you will enter in here in the back room. Once you've entered there, you'll see the broadcast and the destinations. If you're going to create your destinations, you should do that first. Once you do that, this is where you would link up your Facebook, your YouTube, your LinkedIn, for example, and we have ours set up here. Of course, we have our superintendent, our Pastor Will Nichols. We have our church, and we have some other Facebook and YouTube settings here. And you can add your destinations as you go. You can do multiple destinations at a time. Then you would go to your broadcast and to create a broadcast. It allows you to record or go straight into your broadcast. If you are doing a recording, this will allow you to do a recording that you will not automatically go to a live streaming service. You could use that for later purposes. So for this purpose, we're going to do a broadcast. So for example, if we're going to do our YouTube, we click on that. You would schedule it. Create a description, if it's going to be a public or private. You can also schedule it for later. Enter a thumbnail. You can set the date. You can set the time as well. Create broadcast. Once you create broadcast, you will enter the broadcast studio. here I am. Once you enter the studio, it's important that you would do a few testing here. So I am set up currently on the default settings for the internal mic. If you're going to be using this for your church purposes, you may be able to use this for that. You also may be set up on a production setting in which you will be using production sound, and then you may be using a capture card or interface system to operate that. So be careful of which you'll be using. So make sure that you have all of those settings set first. So you would check your camera mic to make sure your camera is set for whatever presets you're operating. Right now I'm using the FaceTime and it's on that. You can see that there. You can check your presets at the bottom. You can also check your audio settings. If you check the testing there, you can see that the levels are moving. And there's also a setting here in which you can set up your green screen backgrounds. I have a few settings set below. You can check those and set those. Once you have that to your liking, you can enter the studio. Make sure you have your display name set as well if you're going to be using that. Enter your studio. Once you're entered into your studio, you see we do have background set up for now, and you see below, this is where you would see different camera views and you would see different presenters. To the right, you see. Now this below is where you could enter in different camera views. Our church actually uses this on Sunday mornings as well as our growth groups. So in your back end, you would enter, just as you're seeing us today, you have different presenters here. And you also would be able to have different cameras if you set up cameras in your church and your sanctuary. So this allows you to be able to have multi-camera views. This will come in handy for a full service, or it will come in handy if you're doing a one-person show. If you're the pastor and you want to be able to do just talk to your congregation offline. If you're home, you will have a special announcement that you like to present. This is easy for you to operate yourself. So if you want to know more information about that, please comment below. Right, you see comments. This is where people would be posting for Facebook and YouTube. Now you have access here to initiate those views. So at your leisure, you can post those. Here we have our banner settings. You can customize those. We of course have several set up. We have our morning service, our growth group, and other settings here. What this allows us to do is to set up different cues. If we want to actually let our viewing audience see commands, you can set up tickers. There's scrolling informational cues at the bottom that we will want our visitors to take action, or we want responses, or we would like them to be aware of, or command. Right here, we want people to know they're welcome. We want them to like, share, or comment. So all you have to do to create those would be to create banner. Once you create banner, you will enter that. You can enter them as a ticker, or you can enter them as a full screen. I'm sorry, a full banner. These are our brands. This is where you would change the color of your particular brand and your theme. You can enter your logos. The logos that you enter will have to be PNG so that you can make sure that it doesn't have a border attached. You can enter your backgrounds and overlays. You would simply click here and pull in any backgrounds and overlays you would like to use. You can also pull in different videos. You would click here and pull in specific videos that you would like to use. Now there is a limit on the size of the videos that you are able to pull in for this particular setting here. But there's a setting at the bottom here that allows you to share your screen. And if you're able to share your screen, you can pull in larger files for your video. And an example of that is what I am currently doing now, and what Pastor Will did at the beginning of our program. You can customize your whole production by the click of a mouse. We also have background set up to customize whatever type of event that you're doing, whatever production you're doing, whatever event that your church is doing, your Sunday service, your women's group, anything that you're having, you can customize it for your particular event or service. You can also communicate with people that will be in your, that's me. You can also customize it with the folks that you have on your, in your back office. All right, once you have everything set up to your liking, you can add your video to stream and then go live. Okay, this is an example of one of our growth groups that Pastor Will does. Actually, he manages this pretty well himself. He and I usually do this on Wednesdays. He has a few presenters that he has on Wednesdays. And what he does is we bring in a couple of presenters and they discuss our service the prior Sunday, call up the presenters, and we're able to bring in give them a link the evening before, in which we test their audio, and they're able to come in the next day, select them with green screens if they so wish, and they're able to discuss the service prior and bring in comments from Facebook and YouTube. Same time, live service. This will help you in your service and broaden your streaming, getting more of your social media audience, getting more exposure, being more relevant, and actually being able to get the word out in the way that today's audience is more accessible with. Especially right now, a lot of people still aren't coming in the churches, and this will help you reach your audience. Okay. And one of the things I wanted to also discuss with you is creating a bigger online presence through design. So as you can
Hey, Algernon, before we go into that, I want to take a minute to go back to the online presentations. And then I want to do eChurch, and then we can come back to this topic on design, because I really want to get into the designs. But I really want you to talk. I wanted to ask you a couple of questions concerning the importance of the online presence. We've had some technical issues and some different things, but we really wanted to make this a great experience, and we found that StreamYard really does that. So talk a little bit about the end user experience. We'll come back to this a little bit later, but talk a little bit about why StreamYard is so good, and the whole online, the user experience, and how we've integrated our cameras, our live service with our video, with one-on-ones. Talk a little bit about that and how that really creates a presence, engagement. That's the point I was looking for, the engagement of the user.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a learning curve. Like I said, initially we were starting out, we used Wirecast. Wirecast was excellent. It gave us what we needed. We were able to use our cameras, we were able to use our sound, we were able to use our production well, we were able to interact with our choir praise team. We were able to give people a great engagement, great service using that program, but it did not allow us to utilize the social media at this high of an impact that we're doing now. The difference being, yes, we were able to stream through these specific platforms at the same time. When I say at the same time, when we go live, we're able to go to Facebook and YouTube simultaneously. We go at the same time. So we don't have to, I know people are familiar with doing YouTube live at one time. We're familiar with doing Facebook live at one time. This actually integrates the two. We're able to do them at the same time. We were able to do that with Wirecast, yes, but we were not able to interact socially with the viewing audience. They weren't able to share comments. We weren't able to share screens and move back and forth fluently as we are doing now. Like as you just did now, we're going back and forth with multiple screens. You can see the comments flowing in right now. You can see all of us in different views and different windows.
See me and don't worry about what you can't do. Just tell me what you can do.
We weren't able to get those videos popping up like that. And it was more difficult. And we could do those things, but we were doing them on multiple computers. We had to have a computer for this. We had to have a computer for that. And this allows us to do everything on one specific computer, one specific channel. We don't have to go from, bump from one network to one network. And it's user friendly. It's a browser program. It's not a software type program. So if you have a computer, you can work this program.
And Algernon, what's so powerful is
you
can do it by yourself.
And you can do it by yourself.
I mean,
right?
We are complicated. Algernon, we've got our 3 cameras set up, Black Magic. We've got audio boards. We've got cameras, mics. You got commercials. You got videos. You got flyers. I think you got 6 computers in your AV room. The last time
a lot of computers in my
she's asking me for some more, y'all. Now, it takes us all of that to do Sunday morning, and yet a one-man operation can use the same program and get a lot of the effects that you just talked about.
Correct. So what it did is streamline all of that, and it filters it into one program. So like I said, if you're a small church and the pastor's heart is to build churches, that's its main goal with the new district, is to build churches, not just to concentrate on different pastors per se. Is to build the church of the pastors. So this will help you grow your ministry. Seriously, it will help you grow your ministry. If you don't know the technical aspects of, like he said, me having 15 computers and 15 cameras and having to get cameramen to come in to work, and you don't have volunteers, you don't have this. If you don't have all of that stuff, you can still have a really good streaming service. If you have a camera, if you have a computer, you can have church. You can stream, you can go on Facebook, you can go on YouTube, you can interact with people on social media. You don't have to be a caveman anymore. You can be a part of this advancement. It's it, you're doing a disservice if you're not streaming your service at this point. I don't understand. If you're not streaming your service, you're doing a disservice to your ministry. There's really no excuse. There are other platforms. It's not just streaming out there. I can, if you send a message, we can give you a list of others, but this right now is the best one that we've discovered for our ministry. However, there's some bumps because we still have to, when we're doing our live service, there are other things that we still have to do. We still have to filter, we still have to incorporate our live service. So in order to incorporate our live service, we still have to incorporate our audio. We still have to incorporate our sound. So there's certain things that we have to do to make that work. We just actually recently just got a interface board, and there's some things, some technical things with that. I won't go into all of that, but there's some things that we had to do to make that work for us. There's some things to make our video come in that we had to do. There's some things that we had to do for our cameras, and some updates that we had to make to fit our ministry. So of course you have to do some things to fit your specific ministry, but there's still there's technology out there that will work for you if you're starting out. So this is a very good program. It's not even specifically software because it is a browser-based outlet for you. All you have to do is log on. There's a subscription that you can initially try it out for free, but once you feel like you're comfortable with it, there's a subscription. And there are certain parameters that you would need to do. Like I said, you have to have Chrome or Firefox and all that, and certain files will have to be a certain size, but you can get around certain things. But it is worth your while. And if you're willing to sit and just try certain things and then incorporate some graphics, incorporate some text, some tags, like Elder Nichols was saying, start building your brand, make yourself known, get some tags out there, put your logo out there, let people know who you are, show your face, put your picture on your branding, put your logo on your branding. Do more than one stream a day. Pastor have his 5 minutes. Pastor, you have your lunch and learn, you have your a couple of things he's doing them by himself. I'm like, Pastor, you going too fast for me sometimes. I'm like, can you let me help you? No, I don't need you, darling. He's doing all this stuff. I'm like, I can't keep up with him sometimes. Yeah. He does how many do you do a day?
It all depends on the day. Most days I do 2. That's my morning manna and my 5 minutes to live by. Tuesdays I do 3 because I do a lunch and learn. Wednesdays I do 3 because I do the evening Bible study and growth groups. But you're right, and that's a part of the getting out there. And this tool is so powerful. Algernon, hang on, because I want you to go back into the whole visualization, the design of it in just a minute. But I want EJ to now talk a little bit about implementation. How we took all of this stuff. It isn't just simply going on Facebook. It is understanding that there's a world out there that we've got to integrate. So EJ, if you could just walk us through the implementation. We're still working on this of what we call eChurch.
Yes, sir, Pastor. So currently, I'm going to talk to what we're currently doing, and just putting this out there for everybody. There's no book on eChurch. There's no this is how eChurch is supposed to be done, because guess what? This pandemic just hit and everybody's still learning but this is a couple of things that we
EJ, what do we mean by eChurch, by the way? I just use that term as if people know what we're talking about.
eChurch is the online church, you all, the internet church, if you want to call it, because we was in a different age. People wasn't coming to church. So not only has pastor has physical members, but we have online people that have joined, and they do everything just like the members do. They sow, they give tithes, they give offering. They're just not physically here. So that's what we mean when we say eChurch. We actually have an online church or online people that have committed to Victorious Praise that are nowhere near Durham, Raleigh, Durham, not even North Carolina. So that's what we kind of mean when we say online, when we say e-church. So what we're currently doing? What are we currently doing at e-church? The first thing that we did, you all, for all my online churches, pastors, is we built a team of people.
Let me know if you want me to start the presentation.
Well, I'm talking through it now, Pastor. If you want, you can start it.
Okay.
You can actually click and you can click through that. And then I'm on the next slide. All right, you all. So let me tell you all what we're currently doing as we're bringing that up. So we keep a record of the number of people on Facebook and YouTube. Pass, you can click because the picture is going to come up. So you all, this is what we do. I know it's kind of hard to see a little bit, but on Facebook and YouTube, we keep a record of the numbers of people that's logging on, and we also compare it with our people that are in attendance, the people that actually come physically in the building. So we get an average number of people online and the people that are physically in the church. And we just take the three areas of the service: the praise and worship, the offering, and the sermon. And we just calculate people, how people are coming in. We have noticed some interesting trends. We have our numbers are getting better with this learning, but we're noticing some trends with that. And we use this because even with our membership, because now, like, to be honest with you, even though we haven't seen you physically in church, doesn't mean you still don't come to church. So that's why we can't assume that our numbers are everybody's not in church. No, some people are just watching online. So this is why we keep a good record of what's going on. Pastor, you can click. One thing that we do, you all, from the e-church side, is because we got to make sure, just like our church has hospitality, we have to have hospitality online. We have to have greeters on time. So every time somebody gets on, we establish a Facebook account, a YouTube account, and we're welcoming our people as they come on. Good morning, how are you? Different things like that. So that's building relationship. That's building a relationship. You just don't want, like Pastor, I know how Pastor always says it, you just don't want to come in somebody's house and not say nothing. So we want to make sure when the people are getting on, we are welcome, we're greeting them, just like physical church. When you walk in our physical building, hospitality is right there. The ushers are right there. They're greeting you, and different things like that. And also, we want to respond when a question comes up from our end. Somebody may ask about when is baptism, when is communion, different stuff like that. So
DJ,
yes, sir.
How do you give?
Yeah,
everybody can identify with that, but I've seen that question pop up. Y'all got a Facebook. I mean, y'all got a what is that? Cash App. But people be asking, and if ain't nobody there to answer them, they're gonna keep their money in their pocket.
And it's interesting because somebody just asked it. What's your Cash App? So Pastor was able to answer it, but if Pastor didn't get to it, then somebody from our team is like, okay, hey, these are the ways to give. So you're right. People are asking questions. You never want to, and it's like for my pastors and different people that are starting this, you never want to have a whole service where you have somebody asking questions and you're preaching. So if pastor is preaching or actively engaging in the sermon, he can't stop and answer a question. That's why the team is in place. That's why the team is in place to ask questions. And the next one, Pastor, just click. And if an issue comes up, you want to have your team in place. As you all know, we have had a couple of technical issues, different things like that. But you all pastors, you want to make sure you have people that are in place to help, because at the same time you're engaging, you're preaching, you're in your sermon. You don't have time to say, hey, wait, I know we got technical issues. No, you want to have people in place. Now, this is how not only your team can help, but how your different members can help. I'm going to go over two different scenarios. Pastor, you can go ahead. All right, scenario number one. We're going to stick right there. You got somebody that comes in, the sound is low and choppy, and here go one of the members. Oh, here we go again with that. I'm sick of them. Then here go member number two. Girl, they always messing stuff up, and now the guest leaves. So you want to not only build a team, but let your members know that if something goes wrong, this is what we need to do. Here's example number 2. The sound is low and choppy. Here goes a good member. We are praying for the audio and video team right now. Here goes another member. Yes, keep them covered. And here comes an actual team member saying, we're currently working on a situation. Please hang in there. We know our pastor has a very powerful word on, I'm supposed to say this morning. Look, listen, you all. This is very important because first of all, you don't want to show division in the church, but also you want to let know everybody is working together. Everybody is working on one accord. So the members and the team are also helping out. All right, Pastor, you can move forward. And this is another thing we do since they're online, you all. We have to check in with our members. So a member of our team, Miss Denise, she makes sure we reach out 1 or 2 times a month to our online members. These are our online members. We want to check in with them, make sure they're good. Is anything that we can do to help your online experience? Next one, Pastor. Last month, the Houselers, they set up a meeting, an online meeting with the pastor. So all our people that have joined our East Church roster, we had a chance to sit down and they had a chance to talk with our pastor on a more of an intimate level. Even though it is virtual, but we had about 15 to 20 people on, but there's pastor right there, you all. There's pastor right now that they're talking with him more of an intimate level in the last one. And even this is upcoming. Something you got to be in the virtual world. You got to be creative. Dinner with the pastor. Is it virtual? Yes, but you get a chance to have your meal. You know, pastor gonna be snacking on something. You can have your meal, but it's just something just to keep that relationship going. Because you got to remember, to be honest with you, some people they may not never step foot in Victorious Praise, but guess what? That doesn't mean we can't build a relationship with them. That doesn't mean that we can have different moments with them just because they would never physically step in the building. And then Pastor, this is it right here. You can actually take it down. So you all, we have a lot of upcoming things that we're working on. Just recently, you all, we have gotten back into our Instagram page. Pastor not only is pastor on Facebook and YouTube, but he's on Instagram. This is why I had a reality check, you all. Elder Nichols, I had a reality check. They told me that Facebook was for older people. It hit me, sir. I ain't gonna lie to you. It hit me. But the 30 plus, it's Facebook. It's Facebook. But guess where our other audience is? They on Instagram. So that's how. So not only is Pastor down on Facebook and YouTube, but now we're picking up our Instagram audience with our younger people. That's where the teens and the young adults are. They're on Instagram, they're on TikTok. They're on Instagram and they're on TikTok. I'm telling you now, that's where the big amount of the audience is. So guess what we did? We were going to Instagram. Pastor is building up that number now, and even with me, as me being the youth pastor, starting next month, I'm going to start doing some things on Instagram as well, so I can get our youth following Instagram. A lot of churches, when they do Instagram, of course, they don't do long videos. They do the short, the short videos you can catch, like what Elder Nichols was saying with the slogan. A lot of Instagram people, they real short, like a minute, 2 minutes. They catch it, they get their attention, and then boom. So you all, we definitely want to do that. Then TikTok is new. TikTok is hot right now, and basically what TikTok is, little short videos that we can put on there, that we can grab their attention and different things like that. So yeah, I love Facebook, YouTube, but my feelings were kind of hurt. But guess what? We on Instagram, and then we're definitely working on the TikTok. So you all do not, and I think Elder Nichols said it, do not be afraid to reach out to different avenues.
Hey, EJ, that actually was the genesis of my 5 minutes to live by. And it was a younger member, and they was talking about how busy they was, and I said, well, have you been on, sir? Have you been watching this? I said, come on, but Pastor is so busy, and sometimes I just don't have the time to sit down and watch a 90-minute, 2-hour service. So, my original instinct was, what? You can't give God 2 hours? Y'all ain't working with me. You can't it's 160 hours, 168 hours in the week. You can't give God. And that's our natural fallback. And I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with that. But instead of me pushing and complaining and because maybe she wasn't there yet, trying to get her there. I'm going to get her there eventually. But something hit me and it said, well, and here's what she said. She said, this is what she said. She said, I go on and, I got a little thing that gives me a daily inspiration or whatever that I go on from time to time each day. And I said to myself, that's where she is. So how about I just meet her there?
Right.
And I came up with I took the tools that Algernon had taught me on this, and EJ was talking about Instagram, and then somebody else told me about podcasts, and I said, you know what? I'm gonna do a 5-minute inspiration. I'm gonna take my message, break it up into little chunks, and every day I'm gonna give you 5 minutes of it, 5 days a week. I'm going to put it on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram, and I'm going to put it in the podcast because I know that some people, they say they turn their podcast on when they get in the car, and it'll stay on that same podcast and just play the next one. So my Lunch and Learn got about 20 episodes. My 5 Minutes to Live By probably got about 40 episodes because I do one every day. Lunch and Learns, I do one once a week. But that's the point of all of this. Go where they are. Stop trying to get everybody to come where you are. We sitting up there in our church. You ninjas need to go to church. You can give God 2 hours, and they do need to go to church, and they can give God 2 hours. But if they ain't in the forest yet, you can scream all you want. They ain't hearing it. They ain't hearing it. And this is what all of this is about. When Algernon was going through all this stuff that we can do with bringing on videos and clicking and integrating. Literally, I'm sitting at home with a busted knee doing my Lunch and Learn. I can't walk, but I'm sitting there looking at both my YouTube and my Facebook audience. I'm communicating with them. I'm popping up comments from them. I got my little iPhone over there. I'm on Instagram. I ain't figured out Instagram yet. It's just turned on. I don't know how to integrate with Instagram, but maybe EJ will take that over and figure out how to really engage those folks. I'm just there trying to figure it out. But the bottom line is these are things. I'm just doing this from home. And I really need y'all to get this stuff because this is how we're going to make a difference. Business owners, you can do the same thing. Individual ministries, God is giving you a plan or something. You don't need to wait for the bishop to anoint you. Go on Facebook, go on Instagram, go on YouTube. The Bible says your gift will make room for you and take you among great men. It was talking about money, but if you have another gift, you never know. Trust me. Blow up on Facebook and see one pastor be looking at you. Yeah. Become an Instagram success and won't see one pastor be having you in his office. You waiting on somebody to endorse you. Go out there and endorse yourself. Okay, I'm going off, EJ. Go ahead, man.
Hey, Pat. No, so I had so Edo Nichols. Interest. You was talking about the person that saw your commercial when they was on the phone. So how long? And this is, I guess, for anybody. How long does it take for something to capture your attention? If I'm on my phone. And if I'm scrolling through something, how long does it take to catch my attention to let me know that, oh, maybe I want to watch this?
Yeah, well, that's really one of the actual driving forces, because for us, it really is something that has to happen instantaneous. And I'll give it to you from this standpoint. There is a form of advertisement that we call infomercials. Mm-hmm. Infomercials are notorious for using something that I call adjectives. Adjectives are hooks. They're words that are actually designed to catch your attention. So how many of you all have ever found yourself watching something on television that you had no intentions on watching? You were just thumbing through the stations. And what happened was somebody said, you're about to see the most incredible thing you've ever seen in your life. Mm-hmm. all of a sudden curiosity catches you and you go, what am I about to see? And you can't help yourself but to sit there and watch it. It's the exact same thing. So literally what has to happen is when you're thumbing through, it's got to be something that's flashy or catchy, that catches your attention, that draws you in. So whether it be words or whether it be visual or whether it be something that you're doing that blows or explodes, something that catches people's attention that they're going to hook. And I would say that realistically, AJ, great question. The real response for me would be just something interesting or a way to actually utilize words that gets people interested immediately. Amazing, fantastic, something you don't want to miss. You don't want to miss this. Hang out for a second. You're going to be amazed by what you see.
Elder, I was on Facebook and one guy did that to me, and he never told me what it was for like 10 minutes. He just hold on, I'm gonna give it to you. And I'm like, this ninja got me watching this thing, and I'm 8 minutes in. He still ain't told me what it is yet. But I can't go away. He'll show me something else, show me some more stuff, I'm coming. I'm gonna tell y'all, you can't live without this. And he show me some more stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Facebook and YouTube offer the algorithm and the key codes, if you pay attention, that you can use, and the different codes and the different words that you can use to capture your audience. So you just have to be mindful of those when you're advertising specifically for what you want, what attention grabbers you're trying to get. And you will stay on the hook long enough. When I saw your video, I started thinking about the guy that did the car dealership one about where the money resides.
Yeah, where's the money at? Where's the money at?
That caught my attention. And the people getting T-shirts with their own slogans and all that. So I understand that your particular advertisement was a really good advertisement. So that really worked.
Absolutely.
That was a good one.
Yeah, it's funny. My brother's actually, he ain't saying this, but he's actually a celebrity up there in Virginia. People notice him when he go into restaurants and stuff. On that commercial, and he told me they get him all the time. Don't what's the phrase again, Elder?
Don't tell me what you can't do.
Tell me what you
can do.
So that's very good. So here's a question for Elder Nichols. What type of substance could be used to support this soundbite? Don't just see the vision, be the vision.
And for me, I read that earlier when he first presented that. And to me, it realistically kind of goes exactly with what you already are doing, Pastor Will. There's no limit to that. It's just really about which direction you want to take it into, and for me, and again, I just kind of give you a little bit more background, of how I approach success. The number one thing that I did when I first came here and to Virginia was I actually did a detailed and an in-depth market study. I wanted to know who was here. I wanted to know what their monthly income was and when they buy and what they buy and where they buy. And for me, from a ministry standpoint, you got to be in touch with your community and know what your community's needs are. So if I were looking at what he just presented, the very first thing that I would do is say, well, where's my ministry? What is it that my community needs? And then if I know that it's education, then don't just be the vision, don't just see the vision, be the vision would be circled around that statement. So again, my purpose in this ministry is to help you to find your reality, whether it be education, whether it be life. Don't just be the vision, don't just see the vision, be the vision. And then provide that opportunity to help people to get that thing done. And that to me, again, is really the catalyst, because see, I can go out there and I can present a thought or an idea, but then just as soon as somebody comes here and I'm not capable of fulfilling that, then that idea becomes a fluff. It doesn't become anything real. So for me, and again, this is just inside information, in order for me to build a dealership, I had to make bad deals. I had to make car deals that weren't good deals that other general managers wouldn't make. In order for me to do that, because I know that people would leave the dealership and they would talk about it. So if they'd went someplace else and somebody said, nah, man, you owe too much or your credit is too bad, I can't get you approved. But I did. Those people were going to support what I was saying. So it really, again, comes right back to the exact same thing. So again, great question. If I'm going to actually present something, I've got to be willing to find a way to make sure that I'm able to fulfill what I'm presenting. And that further pushes the message, because now when people hear it, other people are going to support it. So when they say, don't tell me what you can't do, other people will say, yeah, man, you got to go see that dude, man. He gets things done. That's the reality. That's where the real power comes in, and that's how it blows up. It's like my brother said, I go places and sometimes, I'm just in regular clothes. And I was at the airport the other day, and I went to hand the guy my license to get on the plane. And the guy looked at my license, looked at him, and go, hey, man, you that guy.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, yes, sir. He said, man, I was just looking at your commercial just the other day. And I said to my wife, man, that's an honest dude. If I'm buying a car, guess where I'm going? I'm going to buy one from him. And literally speaking, guys, that's really the whole point. And again, for whatever your ministry is or whatever your goal or direction in life is, I would just make it a point that if I'm going to use, quote unquote, a soundbite, that I actually have the foundation to present or to make sure that I'm able to fulfill or to give people exactly what I'm telling them that I have.
Awesome. Hey guys, we only have a couple of more minutes, and Algernon, can you go through that design stuff? And Elder, I know you may have to hop off. If anybody have any questions for Elder Nichols, any additional questions, please pop them up right now. I know he has to hop off and get back to his dealerships. But if so, before he pops off, if a question comes up, I'll interrupt Algernon. But Algernon, can you do that in a few minutes? Go over that design stuff?
Yeah, be quick.
Okay, go right ahead. Thank you, Elder, if you have to hop off.
All right. So we were discussing the design portion. As Elder EJ was discussing about the branding and the Instagram. So there are about four different ways to get your branding and marketing across. So it's the print media, social media, video, and web design. And we discussed the video. We discussed some of the social media. So I want to discuss some of the design portion that we implement into all of those aspects. So let's see. So there are about 9 different reasons why have graphic design, how to integrate that to your streaming. So your presentations for communications are tools that can be used to demonstrate your lectures. Like we're doing today, we're presenting presentations within our streaming. We're presenting video within our streaming. We're discussing branding within our streaming. We need visuals. People tend to remember visual far more than they remember text, far more than they can remember audibles. They remember text. They remember visuals. It's important in your branding. We were able to communicate that through our background images, through our logos, through our distinction. So it's a way that people can identify you. If people look at our logos and they don't see the church, they can recognize that as Victorious Praise. If they recognize an image of Pastor Will Nichols, they can say Victorious Praise. If they can't remember pastor's name, they can say, oh, you that pastor of Victorious Praise, right? So it's important to make sure you're distinctive in your branding, in your logos, all across the board. And brand recognition is important. It helps you visualize the word. A visualize holds the attention of the people long enough to convey and to get the word across, the truth of the word in the Bible. So a lot of times people can visualize what some of Pastor's sermons through imaging. So a lot of times I will post pictures in correlation to what he's preaching. And that helps people understand the sermon. It gives them an overall feeling of the service. It gives them an overall feel, and it helps them understand what the sermon is about. And then the main job of the church is to communicate and to share the gospel. In this age, social media and the brand process visualizes 60,000 Visuals are 60,000 faster than text. It drives a message. It speaks an international language, and it transcends borders. So it's important to have visuals. Okay. So it's important to choose proper photos, create designs, writing effects, uploading content, communicate well with your followers through design, and choosing the proper testimonials through design. And that's all I had. I wanted to be brief.
Okay. All right. Thank you, darling. So what I want to just talk to the importance of the brand. And I, we've been doing this now for 23 years. And we've spent a little money, a little effort, both with the technology, with the graphic art. Algernon works in both ends of the candle. And that's why we had her here to not only look at the technical implementation of taking it, but what are you taking and how are you presenting it? That's the graphic piece. EJ is an example of one of the implementations of it. And this is something brand new. We're just trying to figure it out. So essentially, eChurch is like him starting a church. He's got to go through all the different aspects of how do you draw people, how do you connect with people and all of that. And then Elder was really talking about how do you make that message resonate. I mean, I often ask new pastors when they say they're starting a church, I said, well, what's your purpose? They say to preach Jesus. Well, everybody preaching Jesus. What's going to distinguish you? Why is someone going to go to your church versus the other 20? And what is it that you bring? Because you do bring something, but are you communicating it? There's something unique about your ministry. Are you communicating it? There's something unique about your business. Are you communicating it? There's something unique about your church. Are you communicating it? And so utilizing social media, understanding it, and it's a lot to it. We didn't even scratch the surface today, but I just wanted to share some of the expertise that we have in our house with some of our district pastors and some of the other folks. And I hope that you all will do me a favor and share this. It's important to me, because I'm still working on Victorious Praise, but I'm also a superintendent and I want to help other young pastors and other ministries. So I pray that you all have been blessed by this. We certainly enjoyed your time. We're about 5 minutes over. I wanted to be done in 90 minutes, but y'all, we ain't even got to noonday yet. So we have done a great job. I want to thank Elder Nichols. He had to hop off. EJ, man, great job. Algernon, phenomenal job. EJ, I was trying to figure out what was Algernon trying to use her sexy voice, on the pre-record. It's like, and when you click here, when you do this,
I know how to disappear from all of this. All of y'all.
I think Algernon was trying to let everybody know she's single. So you just.
Oh yes, I am. My description is in the.
I said either that's a sexy voice or she in a room and she don't want nobody to know what she's doing. I couldn't figure it out, but great job, Algernon and EJ. So we love you guys. We thank God for you. I appreciate you. Y'all share this for me. You got some pastor friends that are looking to expand or grow their ministry. Send them this. Ask them to reach out to me. Send an email to info@victoriouspraise.org. That's info@victoriouspraise.org. And We really want to get this word out about everything that we are doing. I know I put that up there somewhere. So do me that favor, if you all will. If you want to connect with us, send an email to info@victoriouspraise.org. You want to connect with one of these folks. You want to connect with Elder Nichols about helping to get that message connected with your ministry. You want to connect with Elder E.J. Johnson on actually implementing a real live online church. You want to connect with Algernon, whether it be on graphic arts, and you know, Algernon was showing y'all the technical stuff, but let me just show you all. I just really want you all to understand how bad this girl really is. So you all see a lot of stuff that's going.
Welcome to Victorious Praise Fellowship.
That's not what I meant to show. Oh, I wanted to show you all, like, for example, all of our graphic stuff. Algernon does all of this stuff. I mean, all that stuff that y'all see popping up on the screen, all the different events. This is just graphic artwork. I come, and I think she mentioned it. That was part of her business proposition, was to take your vision and make it a reality. So I came up with the idea of going to do a 5 minutes to live by podcast. This is the reality of what Algernon came up with. I wanted to do a lunch and learn podcast. This is how she took what I had in my head and made it visual. Our spring growth groups, just all of this stuff. And then sometimes as I'm preaching, she wants to bring it up and make it emphasize a little bit better. You'll see different images popping up. All of this stuff is her. It's a part of our ministry, but it's also a part of her business. So we have these people here that are available to you all, and I really want to make them available to you. So just send an email to info@victoriouspraise.org, whether you're part of the church or you got a business, or you're part of the body of Christ, and you want to connect. You got a young flourishing church, you got a young budding church, you're just trying to get started and you don't even have a building yet. You're trying to figure out how to do it online. I got a man doing it already. You're trying to figure out how to make yourself look good when you ain't got but a shoestring budget. Algernon is here. She'll work with you. Trust me on that. So I want to thank you guys again for connecting with us. Cassandra's in the background. Cassandra, do we have any additional comments that I need to be made aware of before we hop off? She may pop them up on the screen, but I certainly thank God for you all. Please share. Thank you all for your input. I guess Cassandra's still on. She didn't pop up anything. Cassandra, you still there, darling? She's just gonna leave me. She's gonna leave me hanging. Don't make me bring you up on the front stage, Cassandra. There we go. I thought she was there. Many are pushing advertising your business on LinkedIn. Have any of you seen any churches advertise on LinkedIn? I've seen some really good stuff on LinkedIn. EJ, can you speak to that? Anything you're recognizing? One thing I noticed about LinkedIn, EJ, is it uses this format. Like most people are doing it this way. You know, I do all my videos. We're actually showing on what this is called the horizontal view. But on LinkedIn, I've seen a very professional video produced in this vertical vision. And I said, I wonder if we need to start thinking about that. But EJ, anything that you've noticed on LinkedIn that's a little bit different? Pastors, I saw a couple of young, you know who I'm seeing? Guys who are like half my age. They are killing it out there on
I've
LinkedIn.
seen some things on LinkedIn. I didn't know that you had seen it, Pastor. I was going to forward that to you, but it's something to look into, especially for your business as well, to go ahead and put your information out there on LinkedIn as well through this format.
Yeah, no, and that's what I was gonna say too. A lot of younger pastors are actually using LinkedIn. So I think it's now catching on. Kinda, it's kind of like the Instagram and the Snapchat. It's kind of catching on, but a lot of people are catching it. But yeah, I've seen a lot of younger churches, especially churches that are just starting. Also,
exactly, yeah,
just starting. They're actually hitting LinkedIn first.
They're hitting LinkedIn first. We got to ease our pastor in this. You have to whisper in his ear to ease them, like we ease them in social media. Got to ease them into TikTok.
Oh yeah, they have to push a little bit, but once they can convince me of it, I'm all in. I mean, hopefully,
are you ready for TikTok, sir?
We can figure. Well, let me tell you what. You know what? I saw that TikTok about the guy who was talking about Boaz, and the woman who mimicked him, and then it kind of blew up. I don't know what I'm talking about.
You sent you sent it to me.
Oh! Don't be telling nobody I sent you that. That was cussing on that thing. like women who looking for their Boaz, but they end up with the other. Yeah.
You just sent me the full version. I didn't see the full version.
I'm not gonna do Boaz, Cassandra. But Boaz got a whole bunch of cousins. Trust me.
Yeah.
And that thing blew up, but it was from a pastor in a church service. And somebody took that clip, put it on LinkedIn. I mean, not LinkedIn, TikTok, and it blew up. And so it's something that I'm thinking that one day people like Algernon or EJ are just going to say, Pastor, we got it. We're going to take some clips and we're going to start a series that we're going to pop out there on TikTok. And that's what I'd like to see. That's really the implementation that I envision, is like professionally produced videos that go on Instagram and TikTok that are like 90 seconds long, a minute and a half, 2 minutes. Take a clip. You know what? This little clip right here would just kill it on Instagram Instagram or TikTok. And maybe it'll go viral. I don't know, but that's the vision that I actually have, EJ.
And it's a attention getter too, as you were saying, because now I'm looking at that pastor. Man, what church is this? Wait a minute. What else that pastor be talking about? It's just a attention getter to get you to log on or see what else goes on at that church.
Right.
Yeah, I got to go look at the whole video now. Y'all make me want to see
that. Yeah, but stuff like that. Now let me go look at the whole video of the whole service because of this little moment that I saw on TikTok or Instagram.
Right. You know, I was thinking maybe one of y'all would have got my message when I talked about keep my name out your mouth. See, I thought that was cute, that would have been something great to put on TikTok or put on Instagram. You know, keep my name out your mouth. Did the pastor actually say that? Yeah, he said, keep his name out your mouth. He said it. But then it gives it a different take. It becomes a message, and then it works. So, again, thank you all. We are 15 minutes over our time. Thank you, Algernon. Thank you, EJ, Elder Nichols from Virginia, who had to hop off. Thank him. DeAndre wasn't able to get on, but maybe we'll get him on the next go around. But you all, great job, good information. Everybody that's streaming, share, like, tag, tell somebody to watch this because I know they're going to be blessed by it. And remember, if you want to get a lot of great information on how to expand your business, your ministry, don't just live life, live a victorious life and have an amazing day. God bless you all.